Come sketch with me as we create a watercolor illustration of an iconic bookshop in Paris, France. Hey friends, my name is Shayda Campbell, and today I'm really excited to talk about architectural illustration. We'll use the magic of Google Street View to travel all the way to Paris, France, and I'll walk you through my process for sketching cityscapes. And that's not all. Make sure you watch until the end for an important discussion of artists' point of view and help me answer the question, when it comes to art, what's more important, style or technical ability? Anyway, I've been doing a ton of illustration like this lately. Let me show you what I've been working on. I've been painting my hometown of Stratford, and I'm thinking about maybe making some postcards for the summer season. Don't steal my idea, okay? That's my little summer business plan. I'm having so much fun working on these. I'm still figuring out my style. I don't really always know when I'm done. I'm still working on this one. But anyway, I thought if I'm working so hard on this, why don't I share my process with you? It's very raw. I'm just starting. So let me get this one off of my block of watercolor paper. It's always the tricky part is getting it off of the block. Please come off. Do not rip your art. Not now. Okay, so that one's done. I don't even know if I'm happy with it. I mean, there's lots of good stuff there to be happy with. But as I said, I'm figuring out my style with this new sort of subject matter. Anywho, let's talk supplies. We're working on a hot-pressed block, 140-pound paper, 7x10 size. I have a couple fine liners, pencil and eraser, and then my own Shayda Campbell watercolor set. Want access to my sketch before you begin your watercolor? If you feel like that would be helpful, head over to my Patreon. It's a great way to get weekly bonus content that supports your art and supports this channel. All right, let's take a little trip, shall we? I'm going to bring you along with me today to Paris, France, and we are going to illustrate that iconic bookshop, Shakespeare & Company, and we are going to take this trip using the magic of Google Maps Street View. I love using Google Maps for my architectural illustration because, well, first of all, painting outside can be stressful. Kids are like looking at you, it's cold, it's hot, whatever. But drawing from a screen or a photo can be so much easier than being out in the three-dimensional world. So 2D, good. 3D, a little bit harder, although it is a good skill to have. So anyways, I've chosen this bookshop. Now I want to start by sketching it. And I just want to do a very perfectly imperfect sketch. The thing is, I'm not going to use rulers. I'm not going to use graph paper, although I do have a video showing you how to use graph paper to do, like a really symmetrical little illustration. But today what I want is to incorporate some whimsy into my architectural drawing. You could think about drawing a building. Maybe you want to add a little bit of a lean to it or do a little bit of a wonky perspective. We want to capture this bookshop, yes, but you're not a camera. You want to capture it in a way that's unique to you. So think about that. I'm trying to make mine very playful. I'm sketching everything very perfectly imperfect. Nothing's measured. I usually start with something large like the front door, or in this case, the sign. And that helps me figure out kind of how big everything else should be. Of course, I'm working in pencil, so you can erase when you need to. And I've put a little bit of foliage on the right-hand side to add a nice movement and life to my illustration. And you can kind of see it on the street view. So think about what you would like to incorporate. Do you want to put a person? Do you want to add a car, a sign? You don't have to stick to exactly what you see. Now let's grab a fine liner once your sketch is pretty much the way you want it. I worked with a 0.7 and a 0.5 millimeter. I actually ended up switching and did most of this with my 0.5. These are my favorite fine liners. They are linked in the video description. And again, I'm starting with the sign. The sign is just my reference point. If it is this big, everything else is this big, because obviously we know the door and the window have to sit right under it. And then I decided to add that other door that you can see, the black door to the left. Keep in mind, this has more to do with your initial sketch, but keep in mind that it's up to you how much you incorporate in the sketch. I want to capture this bookshop. I've decided to put the door on the left and then 4 windows up above. You could do 2 windows. You could do 1.5 windows. You can kind of dissolve your illustration at any point and have it turn back into negative space. And you'll see I'll do that in the foreground with the cobblestone. It will be very saturated right near the bookshop and then become kind of less saturated and fade away towards the bottom of the page. And as you draw with your pen, as you do the pen sketch, think about using the simplest, messiest, funniest shapes and lines to create detail. So with the window framing, you can see I've just done a whole bunch of lines, and it kind of gives the look that these windows have trim around them. With the door to the left, it has this beautiful grate. I've just done a bunch of squiggles and scribbles. Same thing with the foliage, the tree, the window boxes. It's just little ovals, scribbles. I'm really doing a lot with a little here, and that's what I love about architectural illustration. Actually, the window grate or the fencing balcony thingy is a good example. Balcony thingy is a good example of this point. We're doing lines and then a whole series of little hearts to create the look that, there's this beautiful wrought iron. So keeping your details simple and whimsical and a little bit messy, I think actually works really well. Okay, with our illustration complete, it's time to paint. Let's add some color. First step, get rid of all those pencil marks, then grab your paint brushes. I'm using a number 8 filbert, number 8 round, and a number 4 round. And the first thing we're going to do is take a really light gray wash. So this is gray mixed with white and Van Dyke brown. And we are just going to put this very sort of dark white across the entire piece. From top to bottom, we're gonna go. So this is white with lots of water, a tiny bit of gray, and a tiny bit of brown. Then we're gonna add a little more gray and a little more brown, and we are going to release some of that darker color into the wet area right below the shop. You can also use a paper towel, do a tiny bit of lifting there, because as I said, we want it to sort of disappear towards the foreground. That's going to give our sketch a really playful, inviting look that says, this is just casual, cute illustration, and it's not taking itself too seriously. And you can see that I use wet into wet to my advantage to do all of this. So adding a little shadow underneath the windows, adding some darker areas on some of the trim and the facade. I'm using that wet into wet technique, and at any point, if you need to, you can use a paper towel to remove color that you don't want, but I like to use it to create natural looking color blends. Okay, moving right along, we're going to paint the bookshop, which is this beautiful dark green. Do make sure that that first layer of paint has dried. And I'm using a dark green. Now, the color mix, if you have my Shayda Campbell set of watercolors, is the dark hooker's green with Payne's gray and just a little hint of magenta. And then the important thing here is that you add a lot of water into that color. So mix a beautiful dark green and then use lots and lots of water so that the color looks dark, but the actual way it shows up on the paper is very transparent. That way you get to see all those beautiful illustrative lines that you put down. So we don't just kind of want to black those out with a super, super dark color. And you can see that's what I'm doing here. I mean, at this point, I say this in a lot of videos, you're working with kind of a coloring book page. You've done this beautiful, whimsical illustration, and now you get to have fun and just add all the color. So bookshop is a beautiful dark green. We're going to do the sign yellow. So what I'm using is Naples yellow mixed with white and just a hint of brown. But what I did first is I added a little bit of yellow to the facade of the building just to warm it up slightly. I felt like it was too gray, and I wanted the illustration to read as really warm and inviting. Okay, and then what else? We're going to do the windows. Now, painting window panes or illustrating them is like a whole thing. You can leave them white, you can make them black, you can have the sky reflected, which could be gray. You know, if it's an overcast day, those panes of glass are going to reflect a light gray sky. In this case, again, wanting to create an inviting, warm illustration, I'm saying, okay, it's a beautiful summer day, it's blue sky, so we're going to use a very, very light blue-gray. So a little bit of blue mixed with Payne's gray, lots of white and lots of water gives me this very light, transparent blue-gray. And we've filled in all those window panes. We'll come back and work on them in a second. We need them to dry completely. So while the windows are drying, grab a little bit of red. This is magenta and light red mixed together for the door. We're gonna paint this other door. It looks black in the Google Maps, but I just used Payne's gray. Again, lots of water so that it's very transparent. And then I decided I wanted to go back to the bookshop facade and go a little darker on the green. So the nice thing is if your paint is sitting on the palette, some of the water may actually have evaporated a little bit, so you may have a more concentrated color. Otherwise, just, add some more pigment, a little less water, and that's the trick. And then once those window panes are dry, we need to add that bit of shadow. And this is like adding a highlight to the pupil of an eye. It brings your windows to life. So go in with a slightly darker blue-gray and either do a line or a triangle or a few sketchy lines. It really could be any shape. Just keep it fairly uniform across all the window panes, and you can see how much better those look and how realistic. Next is my favorite, and this is painting a little bit of foliage. As I said, you can sort of see a tree on the Google Maps, but I wanted to add it because I wanted to add that little bit of life and it's extra color, of course. So using either the filbert or the small round brush, we're just going to do sort of a stippling motion, and you can see me making all these tiny little marks. Just throw that brush down. If it looks just like a big blob, use your paper towel to lift a little bit and then add some darker green. So you're working with wet into wet and lifting to give you this very playful foliage. And if wet into wet and lifting and all these techniques are foreign to you and you want things to move a little slower, I do have a watercolor e-course for the absolute beginner. It's available on my website, and go check it out because it's a great way to kind of get all of this learning in one spot. It'll set you up for success with these YouTube videos. At this point, we are really getting down to the detail work. I have a lot of fun with adding a bit of shadow, so maybe a few darker splotches on the building facade, on the sign. You could add a few bits to the cobblestone, or maybe you want to go in and add some more stippling to that tree area. Just look at yours, step back, take a moment, and think about what does your piece need. Mine needed a bit more contrast, so I used black in behind the books in the window, and the same thing on the glass door. And then I decided to write the sign, Shakespeare and Company, in pencil first, and then go over it in fine liner. So you don't have to do everything in paint. Of course, that's the beauty of an illustration like this. And it's never too late to add more black pen. So you can see me sketching in the books that I had painted in the window. And you can go over anything if you feel like you need some more sketchy black lines. Can't have too many of those. So watercolor done. Sketchy black lines complete. The final thing that I want to do here is add just a hint of white gouache. I had put a darker color on the window frames, kind of a taupey gray, and now I want to add like a little bit of white back in. And then I think most importantly is going to be that kind of secondary sign, which also says Shakespeare and Company in white. And I just did it super messy. Like you could kind of make out the letters, but kind of not. I love doing that sort of artful, abstract-y writing. And then here's another trick. We can use our white gouache and mix it with the watercolor paint. So here I'm mixing it with green paint, sap green, and I am making some really light green leaves that will sit out in front of the sign. So that's why I always say if you're just going to get one type of gouache, get white, because you can mix it with watercolor and get that beautiful opacity. Okay, that is our watercolor illustration made from Google Maps Street View complete. We painted that bookstore in Paris, France, all from the comfort of my kitchen table, and I'm so happy with the way this turned out. But, I have a little but, I am not sure that I love the style that I used. Isn't that interesting? We can paint and do a great job, but maybe that nice painting doesn't actually represent us as an artist. Do you know what I'm saying? It's fine to do a good job, but it's another thing entirely to feel like this was done from my point of view. So all I did was take this off the pad, start over again, and just see if I'm going to recreate this, how can I do so in a way that more represents who Shayda Campbell is as an artist? And it was really fun to do it again with that mindset of I had fun painting this once, now I want to do it and see if I can create something that feels more Shayda. And so right away I knew I wanted to make the bookstore more front and center, have a little more less height to those windows. I wanted to make it a bit more messy and sketchy. bit higher saturation in the color, and definitely framing it with more foliage to bring that life and color to the illustration. So I really would love to have a little discussion in the comments. Do you do this? Do you do things over again, even if you feel happy with the result? Because it's not, technically it's good, but it's not really in your unique artistic style. How important is POV to you, like as an artist? I can't wait to discuss this and read what you have to say. I had a lot of fun redoing it, and I am happier with the second painting, which you can see here. But how do you feel about the second piece? Chris says he likes the first one better. I'm all for that. There's something I really do like about the first one, so let me know, comment below. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. But that's it for today, my friends. Thank you for being here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button.
Head over to Patreon if you think it'd be helpful to have that illustration for your own sketches, and subscribe, and that's it. Okay, bye.